Good evening, everybody. This is 12 Gauge. How's everybody doing tonight? If this is your first time to my podcast, welcome. I hope that eventually you'll enjoy coming here and listening to my thoughts, listening to my overview on topics that are either hot on the agenda of the day or even things that haven't been talked about in a while. I hope that you enjoy just coming and stopping by. Leave a comment, leave a like, even subscribe if you enjoy what you hear. Well, tonight, somehow my hand got in the way and I pushed some buttons and boom, I was gone. Tonight, I'd like to talk about juvenile behavior in today's world. Working with juveniles, I hear a lot, I see a lot, and a lot of times they discuss things with me that honestly, at times, it baffles me how different the generations are compared to, like we always say, when I was a kid, this and that and the other, you know, um, well, when I was a kid, we did certain things and we allowed certain things to happen. But, one thing for certain is we understood our place. We understood our place and we understood where we where we fit in. One thing I noticed a lot of lately is disrespect. Disrespect is huge when it comes to the clientele that I work with. Um, Disrespect is something that, for whatever reason, is is accepted in today's society. I don't understand that. As I was saying, disrespect is something that juveniles, young kids, they do frequently, and it's almost like their parents don't see anything wrong with it. It's almost like they get onto them, but in reality, it's like it's not a big deal. Or it's laughed upon, it's like, well, don't do that. Don't be like that. Don't say that. But the kid keeps doing it anyways. And, whenever you treat a child like your friend, they're going to treat you like one of their little playmates. They're going to talk to you like one of their little playmates. They're going to act like they can say anything they want to you. They can get away with certain things that normally they probably wouldn't be able to get away with. And it's sad that that's the reality of our lives today is, adults disrespect other people really quickly. I see it on here on YouTube a lot. I see it on TikTok. Last night I was scrolling through my TikTok and there was this panel of women and they were talking about another woman or a slew of women, whatever it was, but they were talking about how they weren't going to let this person talk this way about them or this, that, and the other. And they had receipts and this and that and the other. And they were talking all this mess about one another. And one thing I don't understand is how social media and how the internet became such a battlefield of unequal people saying and doing anything that they want to do. I get it though. I get it. I get that you get behind this keyboard, you can say anything you want, you talk, you screenshot, you share all this stuff with people that feel the same agenda as you, and you just keep on and on and on and on. And that fuels the fire. But does it ever really fix anything? Have you ever heard gossip or drama ever really fix anything? Have you ever heard that the more you talk about somebody, the better it gets? Sometimes. The worse you talk about somebody, how does it usually turn out? You have a lot of people creating drama. It's kind of like the individuals that get on these platforms and they talk mad drama about how this person looks, how this person sounds, how this person enunciates words, how this person is not educated, how this person is ignorant. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast because it gives me the opportunity to be able to say what I want, when I want, and I don't really have to keep it to one specific topic. Like tonight, I want to talk about juveniles and their behaviors and today's world. You know, I'm a product of the 80s, early 90s. I graduated in 91. So that's the time frame where I was a young adult. Um, we respected our elders. We didn't talk unless we were spoken to. A lot of times, if we were asked for our opinion, then we gave it. If adults came over and they were wanting to talk to our parents or whatever, we made ourselves scarce. We went out and got to doing something, playing in the yard, going in our rooms and playing, watching TV, whatever it was, we left because that wasn't for our ears. Now you have adults trying to carry a conversation, and you might have a kid who's like 3 years old, 4 years old, standing there trying to prop himself up on the mom, giving you feedback on what you're saying or making fun of what you're saying because they truly don't understand what's being spoke about. I got a new mic, hope it improves the sound of my voice. Some of my videos, it sounds like I'm fat breathing. COVID really did a number on my throat and everything else, bro. It really did. But back to what I was saying, when these little kids are standing there and they're wanting the attention without redirection now, they just sit there and try to steal the show. They want to be funny. They want to be, you know, smart. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not one to put out somebody's creativity, but there's a place for it. You must take care of the situation. Say, okay, there's a place for you to come in and speak. There's my biggest fan. I don't know if y'all can hear him with this mic, but possibly so. But there's a place for you to speak. And there's a place for you to be quiet. There's a place to keep yourself in what you're supposed to be doing as a child or a juvenile. It's so hard to get juveniles to speak these days. You can ask them questions and they give you I don't knows, or they give you these kind of things. To get somebody to open up to you these days is very difficult. Even adults, they don't like to open up to you. They like to just be secretive and mysterious because they figure that if somebody knows too much about them, then they're going to use that information as ammunition against them. That is paranoid behavior. And I don't know if it started because of the COVID lockdowns or the distancing or whatever it was, but whatever it was, it needs to get back to some sense of normality. Even though we have COVID, flu, RSV, we have all this stuff going around. It has to get back to normality eventually. We have to become sociable again. We have to become a nation that is able to communicate effectively without using slang, without shortening our words, without using initials to mean four words, WYD, what are you doing? HRU, how are you? We've dumbed our society down so much that anything that is viewed as not fun, most of the time, juveniles don't want to be a part of it. Kids don't want to be a part of it. With all the technology that we have at our disposal, my nephew set up this mic for me. No problem at all. I looked at it and I was like, I don't think so. Could I have done it? Of course. But I didn't want to damage it. I didn't want to, spend the aggravation trying to get it done. I knew that he knew how to do it. So I just asked him to do it. But when it comes to certain things, my niece and nephews know to ask questions. They know to ask me questions for redirection if they don't understand something, if they don't know something, or if they don't like something. It's okay not to like it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but in reality, that is what it is. You know, the juveniles that I encounter, they have a lot of behaviors that kids of the past really didn't have. One of them is carrying weapons, guns. And where do they get these weapons? They get them out of stolen cars, stolen from vehicles, stolen from home invasions, or their friends. And everybody is not everybody. That's an absolute word. I'm going to say most people are packing a weapon of some sort, knife, gun, whatever it might be. Or they have money at their disposal to go buy a weapon or get somebody older to buy them a weapon, and therefore they feel a lot more powerful than to be without one. Um, back in the day, I don't remember having to have a weapon. I didn't like guns. I didn't like knives. I didn't care for any of that stuff. This is all I had. And I know I'm aging myself, but that's all I needed because most of the time I didn't get into fights. I fought more my senior year than I did any time during my high school or junior high or elementary times. And in junior high, I should have been fighting a lot more, but I just didn't have the self confidence to know that I really could fight. So these days, you pick a fight with the wrong person, it might cost you your life. They're playing Grand Theft Auto in the real world, shooting up cars, shooting up houses, or potentially shooting at each other, but not really trying to hit each other, wearing body armor, all this crazy stuff because they don't understand that one bullet is all it takes to never be around ever again. It's a sad world. Today's world is sad. I don't know how it is in your area. I know that a lot of people watch this from around the world, so it's not generally like this everywhere. I'm speaking in Texas. That's where I'm from. That's where I live. Here in Texas, where I stay, this is what I see. So if it's not like this in your neck of the woods, be thankful. You know, um, disrespect though is awful. I cannot stand an adult to talk back to me, much less a juvenile. And I don't know what that's from, but I cannot stand it. It irks me. Let me know what you think about that. Can you stand a juvenile or an adult talking back to you? Getting into a heated argument at the grocery store? How do you handle it? How do you handle somebody not serving you correctly at a restaurant? Do you lose your shit? Or are you able to talk to them calmly? What if somebody, oh, here's another thing. Now that I'm thinking, my mind is just going, going, going. Another thing that I notice is this generation doesn't know how to say thank you, you're welcome, you know, hello, goodbye, let me get that door for you, you know, but they can text you, but they can't vocalize it. I have grown people that aggravate me because they will not call me on the phone. All they want to do is text. But yet, when it comes to texting, they leave you on read or they go for long periods of time without answering questions that you're asking. So, what's the point? What makes you even respond? Like, after the fact, the conversation ended hours ago, and you're responding to something that I asked you that has come and gone. How do you feel about that, guys? Do you like that? Do you like how individuals do that to you? Let me know in the comments how you handle being left on read for hours. You know, this world is totally different, and I feel like I'm at the point in life, I don't know if it's because I'm older or just because I'm more intellectually inclined to understand behaviors, but it drives me crazy how ignorant certain things are, how beliefs, it's like if you can think it and you can talk somebody into it, or you can be persuasive enough, then it's a fact. No, it's not a fact. It's your opinion. At best, it's a hypothesis without any kind of teeth in that. That's all it is. It's your opinion and a hypothesis. It's far away from a theory. When people say, well, that's my theory, it's okay to speculate. We can't have both. They're not the same thing. A theory has teeth, meaning that it connects to this, that connects to that, that connects to this, that connects to that equals an outcome. Speculation is just a bunch of different opinions that run on forever or until you decide that this is good enough and this is the that you've been looking for. Once again, I'm not hating because I don't know a lot of these people to even talk about them. And I'm one of those people that would talk to your face, not via a camera, not via on the phone, not any of that. I would talk to you in your face. If I really had a problem with how you were doing things, how you were making an ass out of yourself by not using the English language correctly. Am I perfect? No. Do I make mistakes? Hell yeah, I do. But I know the difference between a theory and a speculation. I know the difference between a hypothesis and an opinion. I'm not trying to be popular on YouTube. I'm just trying to utilize it to reach people in any way possible. If I give you insight, if I give you hope, if I give you knowledge, if I crack you up by my podcast or whatever you enjoy, that's what I'm here for. I mean, it's a good hobby for me. I enjoy it. It really doesn't take a lot of time. And I enjoy making a video a night or possibly more than that on the weekends because it helps me unwind those thoughts that I've kept up here all day long. It helps me get rid of the emotional attachment that I've kept all day long from counseling people that are broken. It helps. It helps to get this stuff out. Even if nobody ever gives me any kind of response, it helped me. There's some egos though. I mean, I'm at 79 subs and I am freaking ecstatic because at one point I had five. I have a couple videos that gone over 1,000 views, almost 2,000 on some of them, hundreds on others. I mean, I would never thought that somebody would be willing to sit through me talking to listen to stuff. I mean, I'm just excited about it all. It's awesome to me. I'm not going to down other people. I'm not going to call people out. If people call me out or they down me or whatever, or they start making fun of me or they start using me as a scapegoat or whatever, they can do what they want. I'm not going to fire back. Doesn't make me weak. At a particular point in your life, you have to be smarter than the juvenile games. You have to be. How do you want to be taken seriously? And as an example, when all you do is cuss every other sentence, when you're displaying behaviors that, unless people are doing the same thing, it's going to look like, why should I take them serious? Those are just thoughts of somebody that is this or that. I mean, it's interesting to me. I mean, I watch people who I don't necessarily enjoy their content, but I still watch it. I watch it because I want to hear their perspective on things. And for a lot of them, it's just a lot of hypothesis wrapped in speculation with no teeth that lead to a theory. You know why it doesn't lead to a theory? Because there's a gag order on every theory that you could possibly have other than what's been shared by the police. That's why there's not very many theories that are accurate. There are a lot of speculation that people can stand behind. There are a lot of, scenarios that they can stand behind. But I've never truly given you my speculative hypothesis on what could have went down. And I probably will after it's all said and done because there's no need for it. There really isn't. No need for me to have an opinion on something that in reality nobody knows. And if you don't know, we're talking about the Idaho 4 case right there. There was a case that started 5 days ago, and I'm sure you've heard about it. I don't want to butcher her name, but I think her name is Audrey something. Thompson, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, she was the 11-year-old that went missing here in Texas, was abducted, found with a lot of heinous, traumatic things that I can't imagine anyone going through, much less an 11-year-old. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think that there are individuals in this world that can do this to another and still go on with their daily living like it's no big deal. That's how far our world has come down the tube. We don't value life like we once did. Most people that are at the end of their rope, instead of just harming themselves or taking themselves out, they're selfish and they want to take other people out. And then oftentimes they don't even take themselves out. They throw their hands up in the air and say, oops, sorry. I'm nobody's judge. I'm nobody's jury. I'm not even the arresting officer. So to say that this should happen to this person, this should happen, well, in this case, this person's already in jail. And if you know anything about prison justice, I mean, I'm pretty certain he's going to get dealt with. He might not even make it to trial. And if he does, and he gets sentenced somewhere, he will have to be in protective custody. Otherwise, he's not going to be around very long because you just never know who's waiting for him to get where he's going to go and what they're willing to do. Which there's nothing wrong with that if that's what they choose to do. Should he be put to death? Of course he should. He killed an 11-year-old innocent girl in a heinous way. He should have a lot of things done to him, but I'm not his judge or his jury. Does it make me angry? Of course it makes me angry. I'm human. I have emotions. But what kind of change am I going to make if I sit here and say all the things I would do to him, all the things that should be done to him? Because I know in reality a lot of things are going to be done to this man that he may not even see trial. He knows he's a dead man walking. That's probably why he confessed. If he did, he knows that he needs to make some deals with people that can protect him because he fucked up. Trash. You know, if you have small children, if you're single mothers, you can't do a background check on people, but you can get to know people before you introduce them to your children. Make sure you know these individuals' histories, if they've had any kind of jail time, they've done any time for certain indecencies with minors. Don't go for the, well, I was just young and stupid and this and that and the other. Because as human beings, we want to believe the best in people. We want to believe that people make mistakes and they need a second or third or fourth or fifth chance. Well, you know what? Those type of people, they don't reoffend again. They don't mess up again, so to speak. They're working hard at rehabilitating something they habilitated a long time ago. He didn't look like an individual based on his affiliation with certain things that he was changing his mindset about many things. I don't know enough about the case to really talk about it. I just wanted to say very quickly my prayers go out to the family. to the friends, to the loved ones that are affected by this tragedy. My prayers go out to the school, to all the young kids that knew this individual that was murdered, and, just tragic. In order to be in this field that I'm in, you must have the ability to turn those emotions off. That's why I can talk like I do without crying, because I've never been one to cry. I can cry, but it takes a lot. I've learned to shut my emotion down when I need to process certain things that are emotionally going to hurt you if you don't turn them off. I've learned how to do that. Sometimes I sound cold, sometimes I sound callous, but I do have feelings. I do love humanity. And most of the time I try to see the best in people even though they show me the worst more often than not. Not because I'm naive, but because you know what? Why would I be in the field I'm in if I didn't see that? Now, if somebody shows me who they are, like let's say this person was sitting before me that I just spoke on, I could see that he wasn't genuine. Just in his pictures, you can see the evil in his eyes. I look at people's eyes and I can tell whether they're involved in this world or if they're tuned out. If their eyes are dead and cold. Be very aware of people that you surround yourself with. Be very mindful of what you do, where you go, and be very hyper vigilant. This world's an ugly place, but you can be the beauty that you want to see in this world today. We don't all have to be callous. We don't all have to be mean and ugly and hateful. We can actually be sowing seeds that one day will bloom and grow into beautiful trees, even if it's after we're long gone. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. Like I said, I was just talking about many things. I might do these once a night. And if you watch this, I'm thinking about doing a live on Saturday night about 8:30 if I remember. Pass the word. I've never had people in a live chat before, so I don't know how to bring people to the panel or anything like that, so I might not do that the first time around. But I would like to see you guys in there because I believe that there's a lot of people that want to do better, that believe in doing better. They just don't know how to help the people that don't want to do better. And oftentimes we feel surrounded by so many broken people that we get beat down and forget that we're the chosen. We aren't the healers. We're just the messengers. So don't get downtrodden. Recharge. Do what you need to do to continue being a beacon in the light, a beacon in the darkness. I'm not gonna say I love you guys because I don't know you, but I care about humanity, like I said, and I hope you guys, if you need any kind of prayer, uplifting words, I'm not gonna give you my email because I don't want to get bombarded with emails about what to talk about and this, that, and the other. Not that I don't respect that. I'm just not at that level right now. I'd rather you leave your stuff in the comments. I'll pray for you if you need it. You're going through a health problem, you're going through financial difficulty, you're going through divorce, you're going through loss of hope and faith, or whatever it might be that you're going through, let me know and I'll definitely talk to you or I'll pray for you. I mean, because either one of those things can be the difference a lot of times between going forward and staying stuck. I'm nobody special. I'm just 12 gauge. But I feel that I'm anointed to do a lot of wonderful things because at one point in my life I wasn't doing wonderful things. I was hurting people, I was taking from people, I was an alcoholic, I was a drug addict, I was, a womanizer, I was untrustworthy. I was all these things. I was lost. And since I turned my life around, I've always vowed to give back, no matter how little. So you guys have a wonderful night. As you can tell, I can talk for days. That's why I do this. Like I told you one time, I used to do 3-hour groups at a time. Can you imagine me talking for 3 hours? Could anybody sit through that? I will never force you to sit through 3 hours talking with me, even if it's live. That's just too much. That's overkill. That's why I try to shut these down 30, 35, 40 minutes. Well, I've said goodbye about 4 times. I'm really meaning it this time. You guys take care of each other, okay? Take care. It's a bad world we live. Till next time.